I'll be back to see how the students have got on in the next programme. For a generation brought up on social networks, their challenge is to begin to build meaningful networks and relationships face-to-face in a Facebook age. This is something Robin Dunbar at the University of Oxford discussed with me.
There's something about face-to-face contact, about the cues you get from the face, which are crucially important in your reading the quality of an interaction or the quality of a relationship. So we did a study a couple of years ago where we asked people to rate their sort of contentedness, their satisfaction at the end of each day with all the interactions they'd had with their, I think it was their 5 best friends or something like that, by different media. And face-to-face won out every single time. It was much, much better than any of the kind of digital media, including phones, so texting, email, social networking, SMS, all these kind of things. The only exception to that was Skype. Really? And Skype did just about as well as face-to-face. And I think it's because you have that sense of being in the room at the same time. And so you're getting auditory and visual cues simultaneously. And also it's instantaneous. And the big problem with text-based media in particular, I think, is that it's so slow.
The different levels, dimensions, if you will, of engagement in a social media era interest Gillian Tett of the Financial Times, herself an anthropologist.
It's a truism of human existence that whatever we don't have, we want. And a world where it's easier and easier to connect with people online rather than face-to-face perversely means that face-to-face interactions become more valuable.
What the Americans call in-person networking, which I really love.
Absolutely. In-person networking is something which is suddenly become valuable and suddenly needs to be defined precisely because it's rare. And it's very interesting to look at what's happened over the last century with the rise of the video or DVD. When videos and DVDs first hit the market in the West, many people thought that the cinema, the old-fashioned idea of going to a cinema, would become completely redundant. But here's a really interesting thing. Today, cinema attendance is higher than it's ever been. And that's partly because although originally people rushed to enjoy sitting at home on the sofa, they then realised there was actually a value to being in a cinema as well, because it was kind of different. It was a place for social interaction. And so one of the points to make is that the real life and the cyber world don't have to cannibalise each other. They can actually exist synergistically. And people can start to realise that there's actually a real value to being real alongside being cyber. The question is simply how do we choose to manage those two aspects of our lives?